Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back for your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, as well as the vast majority of crypto and finance. And with that being said, before we fully dive on into this video, I just want to ask everybody, how are you all doing? If you guys are having a great time, definitely hit that like button and also comment down below how you guys are doing. With that, right, we're going to start on this subject here, which is the idea of the cbdc platform from Ripple being the major component to the new financial system. As we look at what's happening right now around the world of finance, we know that CBDCs are happening. We know that they are here. 93% of the world's central banks are engaged in CBDC work already. And as we look at Ripple with the CBDC platform, it is being utilized, it is being piloted, it is being tested around major entities. Recently, the Republic of Palau partnered with Ripple. This has been a long time coming, by the way. Going all the way back to December of 2022, we knew that they were working with Ripple to create a national stablecoin. Well, now they're piloting a USD-backed stablecoin on the XRP ledger. This is very significant because this is one step towards the atomic settlement between two CBDCs. And why is that so crucial? Well, because once we have that, it is game over. But we will address that later on in this video, so stick around. One thing that I will mention is that I recently talked about CBDCs in a doom and gloom scenario where the retail sector is being fully controlled and it is essentially the new world order. As we look at that, right, I do think that these private entities like Ripple being tied to this, or Stellar, etc., is very beneficial for the retail sector in a sense that we could have a possible guard up around the retail sector not being controlled, but we have no idea, right? And also remember, a lot of it is speculation when we do say like, oh, all right, like, yeah, 100% CBDCs will control every single thing that we do. We still don't know how everything is going to work with them. I don't like the idea of the central bankers being the ones in control, because guess what? For the longest time, what has that done for us? Oh yeah, that's right. They destroyed our economy. They destroyed the purchasing power of the US dollar, which ultimately destroyed the global financial system as well. So as we look at central bankers, they're not really good with money. So what are we going to do with a CBDC that they haven't done with fiat currency already in terms of destroying the economy? So honestly, I don't really like the idea of central bankers still having that control or having any control if that is the case. But nonetheless, the way that I look at this is Ripple is 100% spearheading the new financial system. The reasoning behind that is, well, because the Ripple CBDC platform, in my opinion, is going to be a huge piece of the global financial system puzzle. And as we look at XRP as a bridge currency, we already know how that fits in, bridging the gap between stablecoin, CBDCs, and all these other things of value, especially in a tokenized world. Now, also, XRP Darren posted this little interview that he had with Jay Hunter Anson, who is the Digital Residency Office Director. He is working on the Palau's GovCoin, and we do see it was a pleasure speaking to JHX over on Twitter. He is one of the project managers for Palau's GovCoin. If this is successful for the IMF, the BIS, the central banks, we'll all be looking at this very closely, and money on public ledgers is how the game changes. And this is what I'm going to be addressing in this video as well, which is, again, on par with atomic settlement. Check out this video.
The Fed or Treasury have a say in what's going on?
Yes, of course. We're subject to the FAFTA, and there's annual, or I think every 2 years, our Financial Institutions Commission has to file different reports and things of that nature. Of course, there's two local banks, or two U.S. banks that have branches.
The Fed or Treasury have.
So there you guys have it. That's a little bit of an insight on this. There's a full video over on XRP Darren's YouTube channel. Go check it out if you guys haven't already, and also go give him a follow over on Twitter. But also, the main reasoning behind this, and the main thing that I want to mention, is that yes, all eyes are going to be on this project, because guess what? It's one step closer to that atomic settlement, which I will address here in a second. Chad Steingraber also posted this: Ripple, Bhutan, and Palau CBDCs on the XRP ledger. Bridges are ready and XRP has the green light. And here you guys have from Megan over on Twitter. She's posting the screenshot of the CBDC breakdown white paper from Ripple. And this is the Republic of Palau and the Royal Monetary Authority of Bhutan. And here we help banks around the world accelerate their business. Ripple is a leader in enterprise blockchain technology, offering a comprehensive platform for minting, managing, transacting, and redeeming central bank digital currencies. Ripple is currently engaged globally with central banks on CBDC projects. And they do mention the major two down here. You also see XRP in the background with other currencies, aka being that bridge currency. And then also over here, I do want to just kind of zoom in so that you guys can see a few things around with Ripple CBDC private ledger. Central banks can manage the CBDC lifecycle, offering these benefits. And here are those major benefits. Again, it's a no-brainer move for a lot of these central banks to utilize the Ripple CBDC platform, as it's basically a one-stop shop and an all-in package on a new efficient framework, if you will, for the global financial system. Now, also, why are all of these major CBDC initiatives on the XRP ledger very crucial to focus on? Well, it's very simple. Atomic settlement. In fact, there was a response to Chad, and we do see, are Bhutan and Palau going to be the first example of atomic settlement? CBDC to XRP to CBDC. What is the deal with this? Well, first off, listen, there's a lot of other CBDCs coming on the XRP ledger as well. Remember that recently, Montenegro, the CBDC pilot project, well, it just recently progressed with Ripple, which is a big one that we are also watching. A lot of these are all stablecoin projects or CBDC projects. It is crucial to pay attention to these. They're very large, but also remember this, going all the way back to July of 2022. Shout out to Anderson for this. The BIS released their report, A Future Monetary System, in June of 2022. It contains some heavy critiques against crypto, but I would make the argument that if there's one crypto that could pass standards, it's XRP and perhaps XLM. Now, this is a 15-part thread. I would start off with a controversial statement, and that is that, in my opinion, there is an element of XRP ledger being permissioned as far as validators go. Just read this for yourself, a paper from Ripple in 2016, and here you guys have them talking about validators. By contrast, the Ripple Consensus Network powering XRP is a more viable institutional alternative. In the Ripple Consensus Network, the stakeholders select their validators, resulting in verified institutions as trusted validators with a more balanced geopolitical distribution. And then down here, the XRP ledger has been described in several other instances as having an element of being permissioned in different documentations, which here we have Ripple and XRP enjoy the trust of many banks as a model for CBDCs because it is highly centralized and is based on a permissioned network where only certain network nodes can validate transactions, permissionless like Bitcoin and Ether in terms of being opposed to them. And then also down here, Sharia Advisor licensed by the Central Bank of Bahrain. Here you guys have it. And then also down here. Now, the reason why I mention this is because of the document from the BIS where they offered critique against crypto. I think it's important to note that the BIS is often considered as the central bank of central banks by a lot of people. And we see them talking a little bit more about anonymous validators down here. And also these services are enabled by innovations such as programmability and composability. See glossary on permissionless blockchains. Such systems are always on, allowing for global transactions 24/7 based on open source code and knowing no borders. They say that permission DLT can play a role in multiple CBDC projects, likely Corda, Quorum, but still it's interesting to me since the obvious end goal for Ripple when working with central banks is that they will end up using XRP for settlement between their CBDCs. They say that atomic settlement by crypto could offer benefits to the financial system. This is definitely a role XRP could fill as it's being positioned as a global settlement asset. And you guys do see them talking about that here. They bring up the fact that anyone can validate transactions in Bitcoin and therefore completely permissionless. Also, huge criticism came from the BIS against crypto's incentive structure, meaning people are incentivized to validate transactions through economic rewards, as in proof of work and proof of stake, which they also do mention. Remember that XRP technically is neither of these because you can't really stake XRP yet, of course, safely. I know that there's a few things out there that are offering staking of XRP. A lot of that I would not really trust, to be completely honest with you, but that's just my opinion. Also, As we know, there's no monetary reward in XRP Ledger for validating transactions, which is quite rare. I'd recommend this legendary speech by David Schwartz. The best incentive is no incentive. Critique against DeFi. Here you guys have that. They're talking about dApps featuring smart contracts allow transactions to be automated to reach consensus. Validators are incentivized through rewards. This is very interesting to me. They say that the limitations of blockchain is not technological, but because of its incentive structure. And as we know, XRP offers no monetary reward for validating transactions. And also, problem with fees for monetary rewards. They also do mention that in terms of securities enhanced through incentives and decentralization, but sustaining incentives via fees entails congestion, which limits scalability. Overall, they handed out major criticism against blockchains because of its monetary incentive structure, as well as systems with anonymous validators. The BIS completely ignored both XRP and XLM in this report, which is interesting since those two are the most involved relating to cross-border payments. Ripple is also working with a lot of central banks. Its absence is probably good, to be honest, because of crypto only receiving criticism in this report. And yeah, there's a lot of things here. Even Ticket to the Moon responds saying, sounds like permissioned is another way of saying federated, as in Byzantine, without actually saying it. They wouldn't want to make it too obvious. Yep, for some reason it feels like they're pretending XRP doesn't exist, even though Ripple has worked with 50 central banks for years and told them all about their solution. And yeah, like, listen, as we look at XRP and XLM, they don't get mentioned quite a bit. I mean, there is a few things like around the IMF, for example, that do mention XRP and XLM, but for the most part, like this one is all criticism, but it kind of puts a light on the fact that like XRP and XLM are specifically designed for a lot of these major central bankers to utilize as bridge currencies or utilize within settlement. But also, last but not least, I just want to wrap this all up with this. So this is from Bob Way. Now, there's a few discussions in here. This account is essentially like gone. I don't know who he's responding to, but we do see a few things around Ripple here. It's more so talking about crypto in a fireside chat with DRW Trading, Don Wilson, and Digital Asset Comms, Yuval Ruse. Now, they're talking more so about institutional adoption of crypto. And we're really kind of looking at the synchronization here. We're talking about synchronization of any two specific CBDCs or assets of value. We also see Ripple here sitting next to some pretty large names on this board behind them. And we do see, nice to see Ripple as a sponsor, and Danny Aranda, who is the senior director of Xspring. Ripple, Danny helps lead Xspring, Ripple's crypto ecosystem initiative. Danny joined Ripple as an early employee and helped build Ripple's business development and sales functions. And you see all of the other players next to this. We also know that from research in the past that Ripple is working with Securitize, for example, and also Securency. And we also see a few other players here like the DTCC, for example, which is a very large player around securities transactions. And then we also do see the IMF or the IMN document around this. This is the synchronization speakers. And then down here we have Bob Way talking about synchronization. It's a term of the future. It's a term that will displace blockchain as the coolest term in the space for the next few years, which is really the major topic the study group was founded to discuss. Danny is awesome, know him well. Didn't the Bank of England use the term synchronization? And yes, they did. And they also, guess what? They had an initiative with Ripple to work on synchronization, and they actually had a breakthrough finding of synchronization between two things of value with Ripple. We also do see nice find. That is exactly why the term has become so popular. Once you have atomic settlement via two central banks, the game is over. Every other central bank will follow. Otherwise, their country would be at a significant disadvantage. And this is what we are waiting on. And you know what? It seems as though Ripple's going to be the first major player to have this fully live. Whether it be with Palau and Bhutan, or Bhutan with Montenegro, or Montenegro with Palau, it does not matter, right? There is a lot happening here, and this is the game over scenario where every single country will follow. Let it be known that this means the US, this means the UK, it means every single country out there, because they would be at a significant disadvantage. And we have XRP Darren actually posting this. This was from April 2019. And here we have him talking a little bit. He just screenshotted what Bob Way said. And then over here, Ripple and Saudi Arabia, Arabian Monetary Authority, SAMA, offer pilot program for Saudi banks. Then also over here, results of the Bank of England / Ripple proof of concept published today, which was, again, what I talked about with them achieving synchronization. As we really kind of look at this, right, there's a lot happening, and there has been a lot happening in time. I know, this is 2019. I want you guys to realize that going back in time, you can find some very significant information, and it is still very crucial today. ISO 20022. It got fully announced in 2004. That is nearly 20 years ago. It will fully go live in 2025, meaning every single major payment, infrastructure, market infrastructure, etc., will all be running on ISO 20022 rails. It took 20 some years for this to finally happen. So think about that. Think about why all this information is still crucial to know today. And as we do look at synchronization and atomic settlement is going to be the big game changer. And I do think that this is where everything is starting to change. I completely agree with XRP Darren on this. Like, this is how the game changes. This is the big breakthrough. And whether it be, listen, CBDCs, I know that we hate CBDCs. We don't like talking about CBDCs, but we know how blind the general public is. CBDCs are going to happen whether we like it or not. Central bankers will always be at the forefront of this sort of innovation because they love control, they love greed. I've talked about CBDCs on many occasions. We still have to wait and see what really happens with CBDCs, but in my opinion, I don't really like them all that much. I've talked about it, like I said, on multiple occasions, but it is what it is, right? If we see what's happening around these central banks, 93% of them are moving forward on this. We have been seeing a lot of things moving pretty quickly. And from experience and from all the documents, we know that Ripple is in the lead right now around innovation on the forefront of CBDC, stablecoins, you name it. And all of this does include XRP. I've seen a lot of people saying XRP is not included. XRP, it's the bridge currency for this. This is what's achieving synchronization. This is what's achieving atomic settlement between anything of two different values, meaning, you could have a UK digital pound and you could have a US digital dollar. XRP could settle those transactions in 3 to 5 seconds in an instant, essentially, at a very low cost and in a sustainable transaction. It's game changing. It's what it was designed for. XRP is perfect and it's suitable for these transactional use cases. This is the game changing. Welcome to the fourth industrial revolution, and it's happening in real time. And I tell everyone, like, listen, if this is going to happen, if the central bankers are going to win as they usually do, then why not invest in the technology and enrich ourselves and try to, help others as well? Because guess what? I do believe that that is the best thing that we can do at this current moment in time. We see everything happening. We read through all the documents. We read through all of the PDF files. Everything is pinpointing to Ripple and a few other players being crucial, significant pieces of the puzzle around the new financial system. So in my opinion, yeah, I think that a lot of these initiatives 100% confirm that Ripple is a big player. So that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you guys want more free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. So it's up to you all. Have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.